Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Friday, August the 17th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions for me, you can use this email address. There's a link to get into our free room. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas to be in our free room. I share my screen and get live on the mic right around 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I go to 3 o'clock on Fridays, 3:30 Monday to Thursday. I've been knocking off a little bit earlier, about 3:15. The market is getting a little bit softer as we get further on in the day during the summer. I say in the room, last week and the week before we had about 1,200 companies releasing earnings, and my alerts were just triggering over and over and over again all day long. We're down to about 600 companies this week. Really drying up on the alerts, and next week we're under 400. So it'll probably be for the balance of August. After the first couple of hours, you're really having to scratch to find things to trade, in my opinion. Of course, anecdotally, there are always things. We always seem to find things. But overall, the market just slows down when we start to get out of earnings season. All right. Now, I think today is almost going to be more of a teaching experience or a teaching because again, the absolute 100% value and importance of putting stops in place, all right? So we saw this one in the pre-market, TIK. It had actually a little pop. This is the after hours yesterday, the mauve area. Tan area is the pre-market. So, of course, a huge pop. And this is still up. It's still up. Don't get me wrong. It's still up 57%. It's up $1.50 from where it closed yesterday. So reading the press release, you see, if you take a look at it, I believe this is a UK company, and their German arm of the company received a pretty substantial contract from the German government. Now, this is obviously a public tender, and I guess whoever finished second is questioning the process, shall we say. So there was a little bit of a stain put on the press release. When I read that, I said, okay, that's interesting. It's not as good. It's not as clean as if it were just clear cut. Yes, we've awarded this company the contract, and that's all there is to it. So anyway, bottom line is this. I watched this one, and excuse me, I was interested in taking it if it could break over the whole number right there, and sorry, the whole number, the high in the pre-market, which was about 490, and then to take it over the whole number, 5. So bottom line is, so I actually did a little anticipatory. I took it at 495. It moved up, and then it moved up a little bit, and then it came right back down, and I got out flat. Okay, look at this. Look at where it went all the way down to 433. And now, but again, these are 15-minute candles. Look how whippy this is. So it got all the way back up to the 5 level. I thought, okay, maybe now's the time. It might start to move. And I ended up taking it at 515, right up here. And I think it might have even been on the pullback. I can't even remember. I think this happened so quickly. It's not like I could have, got out of anything here. I think I took it on the bit of the pullback, and then it fell again, and I got out for a 10-cent loss. Okay, 515 down. Took it out at 505. I just did not like the way it was trading. For my way of thinking, these are 15-minute candles. After 45 minutes, this thing, for my way of thinking, was either going to go or it wasn't. So here's the deal. Because I guarantee you, we had over 500 people in the room, and I know a lot of people were excited about this. A low float, 2.3 million in the float. If you take a look at it on the daily chart, expand it just a little bit here, you can see, there you go. Look at that day. Look at the day it spiked all the way up to 637. So so here we are, and so we're clear of all of this. So I'm sure there were a lot of traders like myself. I'm thinking, I wonder if I could get even close to that. So let me get back to the 15. So for me anyway, when it wasn't moving like this, I had a reasonably tight stop on it. It was still fairly whippy. But I guess my point is that just don't let your ego get in the way of trading. You can always admit you're wrong. You can always get back into something if it sets up again. Do not hold it as it goes down to like 381. If you were in it just over 5, Depending how many shares you had, I mean, that could be a devastating loss, and you're watching it go down. I know hope is the killer of a lot of traders. I hope this is the end and it'll come back. I hope this is the end and it'll come back. Now it has come back a little bit, all right, but this is the importance of putting a stop in place. I had, the first time I got out flat. The second time I took a small 10-cent loss. It would have killed me had I said, you know what, I think it's going to come back, and I watch it go all the way down here, and I would have felt very foolish. I mean, look, we've all done it. I haven't done anything like that in a long, long time. But as new traders, we always want to believe, that man, this has got to come back, and people will get involved and look at that daily candle from, several months ago, and people will see that, and it's a low float, and it's a good contract, and you just try to convince yourself that it's going to come back. So anyway, that's all I can say is, with commissions the way they are, just get out. You can always get back in. And I'm telling you, you'll feel a lot better than watching it do this and the anxiety then, because, most people will continue to hold and they'll hope and pray that it'll come back. I'm not saying it won't, but you know what? Why go through the anguish? Why not just get out with a manageable loss and move on to the next one? So that's the TIK. Here is my little cry in my soup trade or non-trade. I said in the pre-market, JW, this is Nordstrom, so they released earnings after hours yesterday. Big pop up here, and it gave up a lot of the. This is after hours yesterday, so it gave up a bit, but look, it was still up a lot. I mean, it closed at 52, so I mean, it's still up at $56. So this was kind of my number one going long, maybe one of those, as we call it, an all day long. So I'd set an alert right here, just over the whole number, because this is the opening candle. Let's take a look at the 5-minute candle. Might give a better picture here. So actually, even on a 2-minute candle, but see how it dropped all the way down to 55.27, and it took a little bit of time before it popped through there. The problem I had is that I had set my alert for the 56 break, and it just zoomed through. Yes, I could have taken it a few times, but I just didn't feel like chasing it. It just got to the point I didn't want to chase it. As I said in the room, I could have put in it sort of what I call an anticipatory order, maybe just on the break, but I would not have got very many shares because this just absolutely cruised right through. It hardly stopped at all. And but you know what? A lot of people were able to get it, and that turned out to be certainly the trade of the day, in my opinion. So I had the right idea. I just couldn't get it in time, and but a lot of people in the room did take it. And this is one, I talked about it. This is one that I actually said I wanted to swing. I was going to swing this one yesterday, but when it did this. This was, for me to swing something, it has to close near the high of the day. So I wanted it to close up here. It did this, and I thought, okay, I'm not interested. Now, after hours, it looked pretty good. I was watching it this morning, and, it was dropping a little bit, but it held 10. Said to people, it held 10. Anyway, bottom line is, and I know I didn't announce it in the room, I talked about it. Somebody asked about the difference between Corv and this one. And I said, well, I like CAMT. And so now I did end up actually taking this trade right about here. Right about here. Sorry, on the watched it base here, pulled back a little bit, and I took it right about here, 1025, and now it is really moved up. So I have taken some out in the 1070 area. I don't know if I'm going to hold it. Depends on how it closes. This is one that if you take a look at it on the daily chart. Hopefully I've got the right ollie up. Shoot, I don't. Let me just switch. Have to go back. Maybe I have to go back a little bit. Okay, there we go. Kind of amusing. Holly, I do remember these days. Holly was all over this one many times. Liked it. Buy. These are all Holly alerts. Okay. Back in the day. I mean, the last one, well, it started on, looks like January 3rd, 2017, so about a year and a half ago. and just was saying, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it. And then yesterday, I think not on that particular holly. I have to change, see if it's Holly Neal. Whoops. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it was one of the hollies and she alerted again. Anyway, bottom line is that this was very intriguing to me, so I thought, okay, that's why I really was interested in it, and especially on the break over 10. So anyway, that's about it. So I don't anticipate a lot of action next week. We're down to say under 400 stocks, companies releasing earnings, and the week after is going to be even less. So have to sort of after the first couple of hours, you really have to scour for things to trade. I mean, look, things do move, don't get me wrong, but you don't get, the big typically you're not going to get a lot of stocks moving that much after the first couple of hours. We're always able to seem to find some, but it's just a little bit difficult to, if you miss that, the two or three that really move, well, what are you going to do? You're just going to sort of sit there and maybe scalp for 10, 20 cents. And that's why I'm kind of shutting down the room a little bit earlier. But once we get into September, I think things certainly we'll have more. I can't remember when earnings season starts again, but we'll start to see probably more action in fact, as traders get back from holidays too. Not that I mean, look, with the auto trading that takes place and the HFT that takes place and all that stuff that takes place. I mean, yes, there is a slowdown in the summer, but it's not like it used to be. I mean, I remember in the old days where in the summer, man, after the first hour, if you didn't do something, the market would almost flatline for the whole day. But with trade ideas, we can always seem to find some interesting things to trade. So anyway, there's my get off my soapbox about trade ideas. I'll bring back the capture program. Here we go. So it is a Friday, so hope everybody has a great weekend. And I will open the room Monday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I'll share my screen then, get live on the mic at about 9:05. So again, hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you in the trading room on Monday. Bye-bye.